The psychology of coaching, where do we start? So the reason I signed up for the psychology of coaching is because, like most coaches, I've done a lot of work on training and nutrition, and the actual day-to-day stuff that you're running into problems with clients, 95% of the time it's got nothing to do with their lack of knowledge or my lack of knowledge around their problems, and the same for the training side of stuff. More than enough knowledge to be able to help that, but it's the implementation of it, and it's how to speak to the person in the right way and opening up a message and looking at it thinking, how do I actually get this or my point across to this person, and coach the situation more than the individual sort of questions or problems the person may face and get dragged down into that level. And I've always had an interest in psychology, but wanted to take that further and properly understand how to deal with each client on an individual basis to help them fulfill their potential. And that's exactly what the psychology of coaching done. The first month obviously tapped into and started speaking about myself and my beliefs and stuff that I'd never really thought about and stuff you don't really challenge. I would say I'm in a pretty good place, but I took a lot of knowledge away from that, and also a lot of insight into myself, and continuing to work on that long after the course is finished. In terms of the actual implementation into my client, I think within the first couple of weeks, the program itself had paid for itself by the techniques and having Andy one-on-one, and speaking to him on the weekly calls in the coach tier. That really helped. He helped me deal with a couple of client situations that meant the clients that were looking to drop off actually continued to stay on. And a couple of months down the line, a couple of those clients that were looking to drop off actually went and done photo shoots. So just shows what can be done when you actually coach the psychology behind it as well. So fantastic stuff there. Definitely pays for itself if you apply yourself. It's like anything, you're going to get out of the program what you put into it. And if you go into it and you want to try and get through it as quickly as possible and not really apply a lot of the stuff, then you're not going to get far with it. But if you actually go into it with a very open mind and look to be a complete student and tap into Andy's deep knowledge, he'll give you 110%. Like the level of detail that Andrew goes into a replies, it will take his time to get back to you with a proper thought out reply. Sometimes I'd get a 6-7 minute voice note off a short question I gave, and that wouldn't be it. And he would reply sort of weekdays, weekends. Couldn't be there enough, to be fair. So very good. Off the back of the program, I went and introduced a bit more of a formal mindset side of stuff, especially in my 8-week program, and put together a mindset course based off of a lot of the stuff of that course Andrew had taught me, alongside other stuff that I've done in my own sort of research and development. And the feedback from it was fantastic. Clients saying that they'd never really thought about stuff in this sort of way before. They didn't realise they had so much to work on themselves. And again, a lot of that has come back down to Andy, the stuff that I've learned off of Andy, and the stuff that, learning from the course and diving down into that deeper. I wouldn't have been able to be able to offer that without going through the psychology of coaching. So all in all, it's a fantastic course, and I think so many coaches will sit there and happily pay for another course on nutrition or training or bodybuilding or any of that sort of stuff, but they've got more than enough knowledge to help. And that's not saying you shouldn't try and develop this, and you should always try and phase roadmap, much like you with a client, your personal development. And I think not enough coaches put enough on there on the psychology side. And what better way to start than with the psychology of coaching? And it will open up and expose you maybe didn't even know you had. You only know what you know at the end of the day, and going on a course like this will help you see a bit of a bigger picture and understand this stuff a lot more. So generally couldn't recommend the course enough. I think it was fantastic, and I think if you're sitting on the fence about it, what have you got to lose? If you're looking at the price point and wondering, can I spend this much money? You've got to get out of that scarcity mindset and trying to save, because it's not going to get you anywhere. If you're planning on being in the industry for the right reasons and for an extended period of time, then what is an investment of whatever the cost of the course is over a 15-year career? It's absolute peanuts. And like I said there, it saves you one client who then goes on to stay with you for another 5-6 months. The course is paid for itself there. It's only going to give back to you much more than that in the future. So yeah, highly recommend, and a big thanks to Andy for all the hard work he puts into it.